Hello viewers, and welcome back to Darkest Dungeon. Oh, alright. Video games. I remember video games. Sometimes I play video games. It's been a long week, you guys. Alright, what are we doing? We need, first of all, experience, right? We gotta get these guys, not these guys. We gotta get these guys up to level 4. And secondly, we need sweet trinkets, because trinkets are tremendously important. So, this isn't bad, right? I'd be happy to have plus damage, plus speed. Abominations have a lot of health, so minus 10% of a lot is a larger number than minus 10% of a small number, but it also leaves a larger number behind, because that's how numbers work. You can tell I'm really on top of my commentary game here. Sorry, I'll pick it up. So, the Warrens. I am a little nervous about going into the Warrens. Yellow missions, of course, because, as I mentioned before, I am terrified of swine tours. That said, this is a lot of money. How many portraits do we still need? Are we really tight on portraits still? Yeah, it's not going to be too much longer before we're going to need 33 portraits. Once we start getting up into the red missions, which we are definitely headed in that direction. Alright, I think this might be it. This will help us get the, completing this mission will put the Warrens up to level 4, so the first of the veteran bosses will appear. This is definitely what we want to do. We don't need more XP on these two. Do you need to be de-stressed? Nah. It's going to be a little while before she comes on a mission. We'll just let her de-stress naturally over time. It would be cool to have a high-level highwayman. Poile still needs XP as well. We could bring Hughes. And unfortunately not Fitzlan. But how about this? How about we do something like that? You have rabies. What does she have? Lethargy? Maybe we should have her cured of this. But she's pretty close to... She's close enough to leveling up that I really do want to bring her out. Alright, this is probably a good lineup. Let's make sure everybody's trinketed appropriately. Right, you have good stuff. You have some good stuff. Do you have a spare bracer to pass her? No. Do you have any class-specific stuff for her that would be cool? No, let's just go. Let's find a bracer. I'm sure somebody has a bracer. Yep. Okay, you. Make with the bracer. An accuracy ring actually might be better on her, so, considering she already has plus damage. Also, her skills are kind of goofy. She definitely doesn't need blind fire. I might want to swap blind fire with Bola. Her gear's in a good spot, though. And, of course, the leper's gear is very silly. Dear leper, what do you need? You, plus 30% heals received is pretty unimpressive. It doesn't look like we have a lot of leper-specific gear. I think a couple of the leper class trinkets are quite good. But it looks like we're quite low on those things. So, what's down here in the generics? What would be exciting for him? I mean, he has a lot of health. It wouldn't be terrible to give him more health. Plus 15 dodge versus 2 speed 8 dodge. It's not great for him to get stunned all the time, right? But there's also not that many stuns in the Warrens. We'll go ahead and do that. And a life crystal over the healing armlet. I think that makes sense. Okay, he has Solemnity, he has levels on these things. Who needs to visit the guild before we move on? Hughes and Dismas could get a level on that. Okay. Hughes and Dismas. Hie thee to yon guild. Right? Yeah. Unfortunately, we cannot gain a point of bleed on Open Vein. This would be fairly expensive to upgrade him, but it's probably worth it. I really do like Highwaymen a lot. They're very effective. Let's unlock Bolas. Get her a couple of points of Bolas, definitely. Well, actually, there's, man, the upgrades on some of these skills are so marginal. This takes the heal up to 4. Okay. Yeah, that should be fine. Alright, here we go. They can be killed. They can be beaten. Starting now, I don't know. I feel like we started this quite some time ago, didn't we? So I would like to have brought Fitzalan, obviously. Fitzalan the Abomination. But unfortunately, Vestals and Abominations won't play nice together, which is a shame, because I think they're both fantastic classes. Let's bring a couple of these. There's a fair amount of blighting going on. What the hell, we'll bring one. Just because I've already clicked it. And it's too late to go back now, man. Swine are resistant to disease. I feel like in the early builds of the game, they often use the word disease to mean blight. Blight and disease used to be kind of the same flavor.
They breed quickly down there in the dark. But perhaps we can slay them even faster.
I feel like that's no longer true now, obviously, since they introduced the disease mechanic and moved several of the negative conditions over to it. Almost everything that is now a disease was... Well, not almost everything, but many of the things that are now diseases were once negative quirks. Did I need to do that? Yeah, I did. That was not going to one-shot him.
Faint hope blossoms.
Alright, let's see if we can get lucky.
Confidence
Okay,
surges
2 of them
as the
down.
enemy crumbles.
Not too bad. Blanket fire is quite a bit of damage still. How much does that bleed for now? 6? That's not so bad. These guys don't really have a ton of stun resist. Apparently it's sufficient. It's enough. The leper, the one who is punished the least by getting hit, of course, is the best at dodging all of a sudden. Oh. That's a shame. Oh, you'll be fine. Oh, I forgot to equip her with the Bola skill. Wow. That's fine. It was right to kill that guy. Anyway. Let's make sure we swap her. So how are you guys? I'm noticing that my commentary here is a little...
So too will resistance.
Yeah, I'm noticing that my commentary here is a little less exciting than it maybe could be. I'm a little distracted. You know, just life. But you know what I love? I love playing video games and talking about video game strategy, and I'm happy she is getting messed up, man. She's gonna need some love in the very near future. Quite a bit of minus dodge. As you can see, once you get into the veteran missions, attacks start to have a lot more. Wow, her dodge is zeroed out then? Yeah, because that's a tremendous amount. What does Ennui do? Minus 25% virtue chance. That's largely irrelevant. So she's at 20 health, and she's only going to lose 2 more to the bleed. Okay, I was going to say maybe it's worth it to maybe it's worth it to actually heal her, but I don't think she's that low. Although, apparently, she's going to be the only party member to get attacked for the duration of the dungeon. Ah, Dismas, step it up, buddy. Wow, I was joking, guys. She's gonna get a turn. Go to Death's Door. Man, that's really bad.
Teetering on the brink,
They're
facing the abyss.
really ganging up on her hard. Well, obviously, this is a pretty good time for this. Unfortunately, she cannot battlefield bandage herself. It only works on other people. So, I mean, killing this guy is obviously correct, and we just have to hope she doesn't... see, this might kill her right here. We have to hope that she survives until the Vestal gets a turn. It definitely helps if these worms attack other people for a change. Okay. That got really rough. She is marked, but marking doesn't...
Now, the true test. Hold
She
fast,
could die at the beginning of her turn
or
now.
expire.
Marking actually doesn't affect the targeting logic that much of monsters that don't have... My understanding, at least, is that the targeting logic of monsters that don't have an attack that deals bonus damage to marked people isn't affected that much by marks. So yeah, even through a defensive item and a heal, she just got et. She had good armor and stuff too. That wasn't a case of us being negligent. That was just her getting crushed. That does it does behoove us a little bit more than it used to, certainly, to pay attention to the damage dealers in the enemy party. You can't just focus in on the stress casters. And I am not making optimal decisions because, well, for a lot of reasons, but I'm not making optimal decisions and we're losing. So now we're in a little bit of a rough position.
A trifling victory, but a victory nonetheless.
The herbs kill any diseases harbored in the food. They don't make the food not, the meat of human beings. But we're okay with that. We're not even getting any stress from the fact that we're clearly eating human meat, which is strange. So we do have to, we have to have slightly different targeting priorities on these more difficult missions. We got so much food already that I'm not too worried about dropping these medicinal herbs. And like I said, I'm not playing super well. For example,
That such missteps are the exception and not the rule.
Yeah, okay, Wayne, I will. I'm really bummed out that we didn't get a scout on that. Dismas, you're slacking, buddy.
The way is lit. The path is clear. We require only the strength to follow it.
Let's see about this. Okay. I like emeralds.
Such
So-
blockages are unsurprising. These tunnels.
Let's
predate
talk a little
the
bit.
earliest
Ooh,
settlers.
a large corpse eater. These are another two-space monster that you don't see on the easy versions of Warren's missions. Sometimes you'll get a battle that is a large corpse eater plus a swine tor. I am really not a big fan of those missions, or of those battles. So let's talk a little bit about, this is a great opportunity to talk about recovery. We lost somebody, and it's a terrible shame. But what do we do now? Now that we've lost somebody, what's the play? We could just bail, but I think that would be a tremendous mistake. I feel like we're hitting for minimum damage basically all the time here. And also our stuns are getting resisted an awful lot.
Such a terrible assault cannot be left unanswered.
What is the stun? So her stun has a 119% chance to hit. Man. The odds of her stun getting resisted are actually quite low. It's crazy that it keeps happening. Would we be best off just trying to kill this guy before he gets the turn that he needs to drop Dismas? Or to drop Dismas to Death's Door, anyway. Dismas, what's your dodge, buddy? Only 12? That's still not... That's not that bad. Yeah, we're going to go full aggressive. We only have to hit him for... Oh, never mind. I was going to say, we only have to hit him for 8 more points. Any other hit should do it.
At the very precipice of oblivion.
We don't get the order of attacks that I wanted here. Huh. Maybe I should have thought about this a little bit more. Since I knew that neither of them were going to have turns, the correct thing to do would have been to have Dismas attack the boar, since Moyo's attack would kill this thing. Although, that play does leave me open to Moyo getting a random bad miss, right? So maybe what I did was the safer route. I don't know if that makes it right, but it does make it safer. Wow! All those crits. Just non-stop crits. And of course, this guy couldn't have the common decency to bleed to death before Moyo's turn comes back around. Well, there we go.
Size has no intrinsic merit, unless inordinate exsanguination be considered a virtue.
It's interesting that Moyo is almost never missing. Right, because leper attacks have a pretty low base hit chance. Not as low as they once were, but lower than most people's. And then in addition, he has rabies. But he's never missing. He's getting dodged a lot. That's strange. With this guy only having 18 health, I knew that the Vestal wasn't going to one-shot him. Even with a crit, she went not to one-shot him due to his 33% prot. But I think that the 2 other party members... Oh, never mind. Should be able to kill him. Yeah, we're losing stress. We're taking stress because it's turn 7 and we haven't managed to wrap the battle yet. That's incredibly embarrassing. Now, see, in this case, she might actually kill him. She only has to get him for 4. Oh!
Singular strike.
And also, she does have the ability to get an 11-point crit, so that's fine.
This expedition at least promises success.
Yeah, you should never be in a battle on turn 7. Sorry, not never. If you're fighting a boss, maybe it can go to turn 7. But fighting normal enemies, and in fact only 2 enemies, and getting to turn 7 means that something is going horribly wrong. That something may be that somebody died, you know. But still our damage output feels low. I should swap Dismas back to the front. I mean, Dismas has... Do you have some kind of horrible damage reduction? No. Man, -1 speed? Is that what that said? -1 speed if HP below 50%? Jeez. What a good thing to lock in. A conditional, incredibly minor debuff. Actually, wait, let's do this. We have the holy water, why not? Okay, not bad. And it was loot that fits into slots that are already partially full, so we get an open slot from doing it too. So, recovery. If we were to bail, we'd be sure to have no other deaths. And don't get me wrong, I do think that's valuable.
Safety.
I love it when people live. Good dodge. But we always have to be thinking long term, right? Which in this game means largely thinking about our gold. If we leave now, we'll be safe, but we won't get as much gold as we might get. I didn't realize that Dismas was at 2-2 on his gear. I should have upgraded that. That's certainly not helping. Man, there's a lot of these. how this works, it's a pile. It's a pile of garbage. She got the worries. Ugh. That's a pretty bad one.
Ambushed by foul invention.
This dungeon is kicking our asses. You know what? I'm being a little stingy on my food. You want to hear the silver lining of losing somebody? It's that your party starts consuming a lot less food. Okay, 3 of us against a Reaver and a Swine Tor, huh? Honestly, we may ignore this guy for the moment. The Swine Tor has a pretty high stun resist, but there's no reason that we have to let this guy do stuff. So I'm going to try to kill the Reaver quickly, if I can, and then we'll focus on the Swine Tor. Hey, there's one of those misses I was talking about. Alright. So he gambles back and forth like that. He's going to do a charge next that's going to hit all 3 of us, and I don't know if it has a high crit rate, or if it's just bad luck that I've been crit by it a tremendous number of times. But it's ugly. I just want to do damage to this guy, right? Let's just bring him down quickly. Let's try not to go to round 7, right? Alright, non-critical, resistant stun, that's good for us. A big crit would be glorious here, Moyo. Okay, well at least he connected, right? I can't be too mad. He's not been doing a lot of that. Alright. Oh, that's right. He has the single target attack that pushes to the back and stuns. Right, I forgot about that one. Okay, so obviously the Vestal's probably going to be on Dismas healing duty for a while.
Terrible vistas of emptiness reveal themselves.
Ah, but she's in the wrong position. Well, I don't suppose it matters. Dismas is not going to get attacked for a small amount by the Swine Tor. Really, all we have to do is try to keep him above the threshold where where this guy can Death's Door him over and over again. And 3 is good enough. Oh, I guess he could get crit. He didn't, but he could have. So that being the case, can I afford to move, or do I have to heal him? If he gets hit by the Swine Tor, he'll go to Death's Door. And then probably this guy will get a turn before our Vestal does, since he has speed 8. And he might be able to AoE kill. Yeah, we have to heal again, unfortunately. If we'd like to save Dismas, and I think that's the case, I really would like to save Dismas. 40 prot. Man, maybe I do need to just get rid of this guy. Because the Swine Tor doesn't apply any bleeds and only attacks once per round. His odds of being able to kill somebody are actually pretty poor if he's alone. Yeah, let's remove the Marcher from the equation. This is what I thought he was going to do the last time.
Injury.
And now you can see what I was talking about when I said that I've been crit by it a lot. Do we need to run? Speed 8. You have 2 speed. You have 5. You have -4. So he's gone first every round. He's going to go first again. It's possible for Poile to go before he does. If she does, she can save Dismas's life. Well, she can heal Dismas, but then he might get Death's Doored again. I wish that Moyo was a Hellion right now. You've seen, even though Moyo hits hard, you've seen plenty of times how having a versatile frontliner who hits the back row can really save your bacon. Do I want to gamble with Dismas? He's got so much XP. No, I think maybe we cut our losses here. We really don't have very much money. I was hoping to be able to push on a little further. Yeah, I think we gotta cut our losses.
Injury and despondence set a stage for heroism or cowardice.
harsh. She's got bad manners. Okay.
Great adversity has a beauty. It is the fire that tempers.
You know, Wayne, I agree. Great adversity does have a beauty. So, that was pretty bad. Hughes's lethargy got passed on. Kleptomaniac's gotta go, lethargy's gotta go. It looks like,
In time, you will know the tragic extent of my failings.
looks like, in fact, our Vestal is gonna be spending a couple weeks in the sanitarium. It's more important to remove Kleptomaniac than it is to remove lethargy. Curious is annoying, but, like, okay. So let's talk a little bit about what negative traits are actually problematic. I've said before many times that I think the only ones that are worth getting rid of are ones that give a significant stat debuff. We're talking, like, minus 20% max HP, that kind of stuff. It has to be real bad for it to be worth spending gold on. And these ones that make you interact with stuff. Curious is pretty annoying. Kleptomaniac, though, things like Curious can cost you gold because they remove the ability to interact with Curious in the most profitable way. They force you to take worse results. Kleptomaniac, though, is the worst one. Absolutely the worst trait. Because it can cost you tremendous amounts of gold from your hero just, like, straight up stealing things. Dismas, buddy, you gotta... Do you care? You can't gamble. Right. Meditate, sir. Take a load off, buddy. All right. Well, that was rough. So it's important to try to wring every last bit out of even bad circumstances. We could grab another Arbalest just to straight up replace our Arbalest. Is that worth doing? We have one Arbalest. Do we need to? Let's sort by class. Let's see if there's anything else we might rather have. So we are on 2 Vestals. We have 3 Occultists. We have 2 of many good... Honestly, I would like a second Crusader, even. Maybe we don't need to get another Arbalest. But I like them. I really do.
Shoot, bandage, and pillage. The dancing steps of war.
They're not terribly effective as healers, but they do have a heal, and that sometimes is good enough. Ooh, Brawler's Gloves are not bad. Not bad at all. Obviously, we're going to try throwing in another mission here because that did not take very long, and it was embarrassing. So let's try to regain our honor a little bit. Unfortunately, the long mission here does not have a very good reward. This is fine. It's just that their stun the occultist stun requires them to be in the front 2 rows, which means that they can't use their heal. This is not great. That's not great. That's pretty good, actually. Alright, let's do a short. Because we're already 25 minutes into the episode. Let's bring you and... Who's the frontliner that we want to get trained up? We have a Hellion up there. And we have a Houndmaster who can be a frontliner. We have a lot of dudes just sitting at level 3 here. Let's bring Reynald up. Oh, right, never mind. I can't bring Reynald up. Let's bring Trelly up. You have 3 diseases, and none of them are worth getting rid of. That's fine. We should also bring this Highwayman. Do I want to pick up Duelist's Advance? Probably not, right? With this party... Actually, transformed abominations have a good move me forward attack, and Rampart's a very powerful skill. Obviously, Harriet needs slightly different skills. We'll bring Bretteville. That's a pretty okay trinket. We'll figure you guys out in a second. So as you can see, we're a little bit lower on gold than I'd like to be at this moment, but we can fix that. First of all, we do not need this, as we are never going to be bringing 2 men-at-arms. Yeah. Is there anything else that's like weird? You basically do not need doubles of almost anything. So I like to just kind of let the trinkets build up, and then we do these little house cleaning sessions. Fleshfire gunpowder is fine. This is a pretty bad trinket. That's not great, but it's fine. Minus 10% stress damage is okay. We might conceivably use that. We definitely won't use this. Alright, we got a little bit of money from that. Let's upgrade some people right quick. First of all, Harriet, let's unlock a new skill for you. It's going to be Duelist Advance. This will just be a very motion-heavy party. Man, look at all these crests. Maybe I should just go pump a bunch of upgrades into something. Like I said, it's okay to spend crests on upgrading stuff pretty much arbitrarily because you end up with so many of them in comparison to the other resources. You will bottleneck on that stuff basically all the time. Is she yelling at the people in the sanitarium? That doesn't seem very nice. Also, Fitz should definitely have more armor than he has. That's crazy. Man, why are his upgrades so powerful? That's also crazy. Still need deeds. Okay. Yeah, I think we should be... Wait, does Charlie really only have level 1 skills? Okay, well let's take him to the guild. At the very least, Rampart. Rampart's so good. Command is not very good, right? Obviously. Plus, okay, so the upgrades to this give plus damage on riposte in addition to the usual accuracy gain. His non-aggressive skills are not very good. Command is fine. Command is pretty good. I would even go so far as to say pretty good. All right, we'll get a couple of upgrades. Stuff's pretty marginal though. So this is a fine trinket. We need deeds. We could use a win. All right, let's provision. So it's especially devastating to lose a long mission like that because of the words. It's definitely a good idea to bring some anti-venom. I'll bring a key. Why not? You find locked luggage out in the Weald. Yeah. Okay, you can retreat from combat and even abandon quests. And sometimes you should, because losing heroes sucks. It's possible.
Corruption has soaked the soil, sapping all good life from these groves.
Oh, I forgot to switch.
This evil.
I forgot to switch equipment, so we just have a bunch of people in here with no trinkets. Alright, well. I'm okay with 6 points of damage on Trelly. That's not that bad. I'm going to save our anti-venoms for blights that hit people who are a little bit weaker. 3 points per round. Yeah. It would be cool if that worked. Okay. We got them both with the blight. Oh, right. I have him I have his equipment slightly wrong. Or his equipment, his skills slightly wrong. This does a small amount of damage. That might matter. That could conceivably matter. Okay, so he's out too.
Slow death,
We only take one attack. That's fine.
unforgiving.
So I was talking to you guys and not paying attention, and now I'm in a bad spot, trinket wise, but it is recoverable. Get him, yeah. Check that out. See, Breville knows what's up. Alright, what do you have available, man? Sacrificial stab is not going to work from here. We'll do Damon's Pull. Screwing with the enemy order can be valuable.
Nature herself, a victim to the spreading corruption, malformed with misintent.
So we just have to remember not to go on tilt. We have to take things... Frowny face.
Ambushed by foul invention.
We have to take things slow. We have to remember to make good decisions. And I was so eager to get back out here and make up for what I just did. There, losing another hero, that I was not playing slow. I let myself forget things. There's no time pressure in a game like this. There's no reason to make yourself suffer that way. So it goes. This is a very short... It's a very short mission. I mean, it's possible that every one of these rooms has a battle in it, though, right? On the whole, though, I feel pretty good about... Oh, that's not the right... For some reason, I was thinking that the spider web was the thing that required the antivenom instead of the tree with the poisonous sap. I don't know why. So, when you're in these higher level missions, you do have to have actual respect for the damage output of your enemies. This guy is going to hurt us, and he's going to hurt us a lot. Take that. But watch how good we are at solving this problem. What's your stun resist? What's your stun chance? Only 110, 140. That's pretty good. Go for it. Why is he allowed to do so much damage? Oh, except I forgot to actually apply. Forgot to actually equip the advance on him. Fortunately, a cultist can move 2 spaces. That's very handy. I suppose just heal. It's possible that it was right to do that last turn instead of going for the heal, but I feel like the heal is pretty good. Or not the heal, the stun rather. I feel like the stun's pretty good. You know what else is pretty good? Everything the Abomination does. Three for 3 rounds. That's pretty serious. That's a serious amount of blight damage. This Abomination, man. Alright. You should swap this guy. You should swap Dismas back up to a position where he can do something meaningful. Pistol shot alone is insufficient. So what was I saying? I was saying you have to respect the damage output of these guys, but these single large enemies like this, it's very often correct to leave them alive, even though they're the ones dealing all the damage. Simply because it's hard for these guys to kill somebody by themselves. The Blighted Giant has a dot, so he could potentially...
Size alone does not dissuade the sharpened blade.
And a reasonable payout. He could potentially blight someone up and then drop them to death's door and kill them that way. But a lot of the big guys don't even have that. They just hit really hard. And enemies that just have in-turn attacks that hit really hard often aren't able to finish people off. They're just able to drop them to death's door over and over again. You can definitely still lose somebody that way. But it's a lot less likely. Yeah, let's take the stun on the giant. Try to keep him under control. Nope, never mind. Perhaps we can get a stun on the dog? Okay, that's something. We'll get there. And of course, I didn't equip Dismas with the right things again. But he accidentally ended up in a position where point-blank shot will be useful at least. Lots of dodges for my party here. That's awfully nice. That's interesting that he can move back too. I didn't realize that. Yeah, what the heck. We'll get everybody back into the right positions. Occultists are fairly fast, so it makes sense to make sure the occultist is able to actually do his attack here.
Blossoms.
Wow, it's a shame that this is hitting this Gnasher. You know what? It doesn't have to.
Continue the onslaught. Destroy them all.
Ooh, looks like Dismas may be going back to the back of the line anyway. Or, sorry, Harriet. Stun? Damn. His stun has a... yeah, 119% chance. That's 49% to stun this guy. He cannot find any purchase. You know what you must do. So like I was saying, these big guys are scary. That's certainly true. And they can drain your long-term resources. If everybody's in bad position, or if everybody's in bad... wow. 42. Also, look at how he still has like a bunch of health left, because abominations have crazy stats. I mean, mine does have this thing. That certainly factors in. But abominations are nuts. But see, this is what I was talking about. If everybody's left at low health after a long fight, then what you end up with is you end up having to use food to keep people safe, or you end up thinking harder about whether or not you want to camp early. It does drain your long-term resources, so that's something to consider. But in a single fight, these guys just are not, they're not as dangerous, really, as groups of small enemies. I'd rather fight, you know, one of those arterial pinch guys than the fight that's like 3 or 4 pelagic bluemouths. You're far less likely to have deaths from single large attackers.
Foolish horrors, brought low and driven into the mud.
Hey, 1,000 gold, alright. So let's see how much more we have left. At least 2 more fights. And we're totally fine on food. I'm not worried about that at all. I'm especially not worried about that now. Here goes our last shovel, so here's hoping that that's the last blockage. I'm at this point, I'm very convinced that it's just correct to bring an extra shovel to the wheel. These guys have a pretty high blight resist. I guess we'll do the stun instead. I thought about using his vomit there, obviously.
Confidence resistance
Ooh.
surges as the
All right.
enemy crumbles.
Reasonable. Unfortunate. Slime hits a little bit harder, but doesn't generate just generated extra enemies, and the debuff from it is almost irrelevant.
The ground quakes.
Man, our poor man-at-arms cannot catch a break on these stuns. Pretty bad. Well, we can't kill any of them, so let's just throw some heals out, try to get some crits, try to, you know how we do at this point. I'm sure you're familiar. Alright, and this thing has basically sealed the end of the battle by using slime there instead of cytokinesis. We will kill him before he gets to attack again. Man, this one is going so much better.
Success so clearly in view. Or is it merely a trick of the light?
Am I playing better? I don't know. I don't think I'm playing a lot better, certainly. Am I commentating better? No, definitely not. Hey, even more things to use medicinal herbs on. Alright. So obviously we will be consuming this stack of food. Alright, this may very well be the last battle. If it's not the last battle, there won't be more than 2 after this. Obviously, I prefer not to have to do 2 more battles. It seems like a fine time to transform, though. Let's get rid of these guys as quickly as possible. Ooh, a dodge. They do have 15 dodge. That's certainly something to think about. And they have a significant amount of prot now, too. 25. I think the ones in the green level missions have 15%.
Balanced.
What disease? Did he resist a disease? Or did he get more diseased? Okay, yeah, he resisted. So you have a lot on you. That's definitely worth an anti-venom. Wow, we cannot hit these guys. And then when we do 5 damage. Alright, well, at least the tough people in the party are the ones getting marked. Yeah, that's fine. I don't care about that basically at all. So we rampart this one to push him back out of the front 2. In case you're not aware, when these guys are not in the front 2 rows, they don't have access to their best attacks. And then, of course, with him being in the back 2 rows, now fungal artillery. Now abyssal artillery will hit him, which is what we intend to do with our occultist. Oh, and we leave the fungal battery alive. Just a little bit of health. That's unfortunate. And he chooses to basically waste his turn. That's less unfortunate. Lots of prot on these monsters, unfortunately.
Impressive.
I cannot catch a break on these guys, damn. And you can see that's the attack that they have available in that situation. Yep, and it lands on both. Why are you shouting? Alright, but now we have a chance to repeat the cycle. Stun one, knock him back. He spends 2 turns not doing anything of value. He only has 15 dodge. Okay. There's 6 damage coming. I want so badly to just Abyssal Artillery. Yeah, I'm gonna do it. Alright. Good value. We got there. We're gonna have to eat food after this combat, for sure. Wow. There's so much prot that Rake is not even guaranteed to get a kill on a guy who has 6 health. Alright, now we have to heal. But, you know, of course, there's the possibility with an occultist. Alright, well, I'm definitely hoping that this is the end of the dungeon, that this is the final room battle. I'm also hoping that we get a scout.
Precipice of oblivion.
0 again. Well, at least it's not applying a bleed, I suppose.
Singular strike. A trifling victory, but a victory nonetheless.
Okay, there we go. That took an awfully long time to come up. I had already resigned myself to the walk. And in fact, 2 more curios. The tree is covered in poisonous sap. Sure. Whatever. Alright. I didn't eat any food on Dismas because there's no need to, and the food is worth a non-zero amount of gold.
Driving out corruption is an endless battle, but one that must be fought.
It does feel pretty endless, Wayne. Alright, so one veteran success, 1 big veteran failure. Sadly, this is the way of things in the Darkest Dungeon. But you know, if the game were, if the whole game were as easy as the green level missions, it would not be very interesting. Okay, the runs is definitely going. Hysterical blindness is definitely going. Our Vestal's lethargy may have to wait a minute. It's definitely not as bad as either of these 2 things.
Our estate was the envy of this land.
Oh. What has happened? Is it this one? Yeah. Dismas has gone on a personal vision quest. Oh well. Harriet. That is unacceptable. Fitzland. And it's a shame because Fitz needs de-stressing as well. Oh. What's her deal? She's a gambler. Many of our people can't gamble. She will do nothing but. I mean, I suppose it's a good match, right? Increasing the number of slots on the gambling hall is not something that's valuable to us right now. If that upgrade had been cash or effectiveness related, we definitely would have done it. Well, alright, I suppose that's going to do it for this episode of Darkest Dungeon. If you like watching me suffer, you know, YouTube outro time. If you like the thing you're seeing, like, share, whatever, subscribe. You know how we do. Join us next time when I... Oh, wow. That's interesting. How does that work? Minus 100% damage when starving. Is that if you choose the starve option on something, it gives you a debuff that lasts until the next time you have, until the next time you eat, maybe? That's very interesting. It seems like a pretty good trinket. I suppose, except for the fact that it's not, you know, related to combat effectiveness. Anyway, join us next time when we, maybe, finally... No, probably not. Join us next time when we prepare to, the time after that, have enough level 4 heroes to actually take on a veteran boss.